On this video, we're going to be covering a live features demonstration of our solution. That's going to break down into two components. The first is the accessibility interface, or the foreground application, and the second is the background application, which is the AI responsible for keyboard navigation and screen reader adjustments for the motor impaired and fully blind. Now I'm going to open the interface, and one thing I'd like to start off with is saying that the beauty of this accessibility interface is that you do not have to compromise the brand, look, or design of the website in favor of accessibility, because this interface allows users to make adjustments only when needed according to their specific disability. Now, the first part of the interface breaks down into profiles, which optimize for a specific category of a disability. For example, the seizure safe profile. Now, this profile allows for users with epilepsy to stop any moving animations, as well as reducing the color in order to allow for a safe browsing experience. Now, for example, do you see the flickering GIF, the video moving on the bottom right-hand side, as well as the moving animation? When I turn on the seizure safe profile, it stops all the moving content, again allowing for a safe browsing experience while also reducing the colors. The next profile is the visually impaired profile, which enhances the website's visual in order to allow people with specific minor visual impairments to optimize and enhance so that they will be able to see and operate the website in a more user-friendly way. When I turn on the profile, you'll see that the scaling has been increased by 100%. The saturation and contrast has been increased, as well as the fonts that have been changed to the system user's default font, which will be clearly readable to them. Now, this helps for degrading eyesight, tunnel vision, cataracts, glaucoma, and many others. The last two profiles I'll show you here are the cognitive disability profiles and the ADHD-friendly profile. Starting with the cognitive disability profile, which highlights all of the links, menu items, and titles, allowing for more focus and assists with reading experience. If you take a look, all of the animations have stopped as well, again allowing for a more focused experience. You have the ADHD profile, which gives you a reading mask allowing for fewer distraction by again stopping all of the animations and moving content, increasing the saturation, allowing for a more focused browsing experience with fewer distractions. The last two profiles, as you see here, are for blind users and keyboard navigation for the motor impaired, which are not really going to be used on the interface. They're really more there for showing purposes. Of course, all of these profiles can be enhanced manually and customly by an interface that allows you to increase scaling, make the font more readable, highlight titles, links, increase font size, alignment, letter spacing, and for impairments such as cataracts, glaucoma, or color blindness, you have the option to change to a dark contrast, a monochrome scheme, and depending on the severity of the situation, change specific text, title, and background colors in order to optimize for your specific browsing experience. The last thing I'm going to show you on this interface, which has over 75 other features, is the cognitive and learning glossary, which allows users to look up and understand certain terms and phrases like binge watching. Great. Now that we covered this, let's get into the backend application, which, as mentioned before, mostly relates to keyboard navigation and screen reader adjustments for the motor impaired and the fully blind. The way that we activate this new layer of accessibility, which we like to call accessible mode, is by specific functions. For example, a motor impaired user that uses the keyboard to navigate, more specifically the tab key, which is the universal key for keyboard navigation, will be able to tab through the site and automatically turn on accessible mode, which makes the necessary adjustments. A blind user will get an announcement directly to their screen reader, whether it be JAWS, NVDA, or any other screen reader, and the announcement will be to press Alt-1 in order to activate screen reader and keyboard navigation adjustments. Now I just press Alt-1, which allows me to get into accessible mode. And when I first start to navigate, I see an accessible navigation menu, which allows me to browse between all of the clickable content on the site, or simply press Tab to skip through. Now you see all of the icons, search bars, menus, access to drop-down menus as well. When triggering open pop-ups, the keyboard focus lifts and lands on the pop-up, allowing for you to continue navigating, or press Escape to continue from where you left off. You also have the ability to navigate through sliders. And as you see, all of the menus, forms, icons, and all of the more complex parts of web accessibility are things that our solution excels in remediating. The last part I want to show you here is the image recognition technology, which I think is very, very exciting. And in order to do that, I'll go ahead and reset the settings one more time. For this, I'm going to have to inspect the console and show you a couple of elements before accessible mode is turned on, and of course, once it is already on. If you take a look at the console, and I just inspected the GIF over here that says traveling, shopping, 15% off, you see that there's no label, there's no description for the image, and the text that's embedded within the image has not been converted into screen reader text for this image as well. Or perhaps the Facebook icon, or the favorites button. I'll show you one more image for good measure. And now I'd like you to see what happens when I activate accessibility mode, again, as mentioned by pressing Alt-1. I hope you're able to see the code changing live, and let's reinspect the element one more time. As you see, the alt using image recognition technology has been provided, in this case, women in shorts standing on gray concrete floor near body of water during daytime. Or for the GIF, where you have the image recognition technology that is describing wood, retro, and luggage, as well as the optical character recognition deriving the text embedded within the image to say travel, shopping, 50% off, just like it is on the image. As you see here, again, a fully labeled description and deriving the text embedded within the image. I want to show you some of the icons and other items, like the Facebook icon, which is assigned a new window and Facebook attributes, as you see here. Or this heart, where using contextual understanding AI and how our technology compares elements on your site to hundreds of millions of data sets and tens of thousands of websites, knows that this is not just a heart. It is, in fact, a favorites. Great. Now, that about sums it up. And of course, to learn more, you can always contact your respective rep in the company, your point of contact, to ask any other questions about our solution, whether it is from a features point of view, a legality point of view, or just a general market perspective as it pertains to web accessibility.